So this is going to be a review on the pull-up station that I bought off eBay. And as you can see, the box is pretty damaged as it arrived, completely taped up. And let's see how we get on. Looks like one of the straps is missing as well. So hopefully it is what we ordered. As yet we don't know. As with anything from eBay, you never know until you've actually got it, whether what they say they're selling is what they've sold. That's only my opinion of my experience of using eBay. Right, looks like we've got to turn this over. By the way, I asked for the weights of it, and eventually I was told it was a certain weight. I can't remember what I was told, but it says on the box that it's 14 kilos. It took several days for them to come back to actually say how much it weighed, and also it required chasing. So, initial thoughts of what I'm seeing, it does look like what I ordered, so that's pleasing. And it looks a lot more robust than I thought it was going to be. This one says that it can handle up to 200 kilos. I'm only 65, but I was worried about the one that said that it could only take 100 kilos, because I intended using it for calisthenics. So that's, yeah, I'm quite impressed. Initial thoughts, I'm quite impressed. If it all goes together well, then even better. Right, I need some cutters, so I shall come back with a pair of cutters and we'll... Right, so I've got my cutters, and let's see what we've got. I'm probably not going to show the entire assembly of it. It depends how long it takes, because no one wants to see anyone just doing up nuts and bolts, because obviously that's pretty easy and straightforward. But we'll go through what I see. This feels a little bit thin, but to be honest, I mean, with my weight, I'm sure it'll be fine. It just feels, I'm looking at the thickness of the metal there. I mean, it feels okay, it feels reasonably heavy, but it feels a little bit thin, but I'm sure it's fine. What I've also noticed is it comes with a couple of Allen keys and a couple of spanners as well, and all the nuts and bolts are actually laid out on a piece of card. So theoretically, the quantity should be correct, which would be great. But not at the moment. I haven't seen any damage on anything, or scratch here and there. This actually feels, this must be aluminium, I think. I'll go and get a magnet in a minute to discern whether it is or not. It feels quite light for its size. Yes. I think it might be aluminium. It just feels quite light. And I'll also give you the thickness of these metals as well, because this probably is, this is like 1.5mm thick metal, but I don't know if it's steel, but we'll find out. So far, it looks good. I'm quite impressed. It does look like a little booklet to show you to put it together. You may have to read Chinese to be able to do it, I'm not sure. There's nothing in English written in it. But it all looks pretty straightforward. Height-wise, I bought this because it says it's 2.3 metres tall, which is taller than me, and I'm 5'7½", nearly 5'8", which means I should be able to hang from it with my feet not touching the ground, and that's what I hoped. But we'll see. Right, so what I might do now is, you don't need to see me bolting these things together, but clearly that goes there, and I've got the bolts to put in. So what I might do is I might put these two together and then come back so you can see, because you don't need to see me doing out nuts and bolts. So as the instructions are non-existent, I think it goes like this. So on this side you've got the large washer. I don't know whether the nut should be on this side or the other side, I don't know that it's that important, but on the other side you have a small washer. Same as on this bottom part, so you have a large washer on this side, a small washer on this side, and I'll put the nut there, easy to get to. And it seems that they do give you 2 spanners, so yes, you can use one on the nut and one on the bolt, which is great. And then on this section here they've got curved or pre-formed washers which actually fold round slightly. I've just put them on loosely because I don't know that it's 100% right, but when I get the rest of the stuff in and everything's used up, then I know that it will be correct. So all my washers that I chose, that I showed earlier, they were correct. The construction is steel. I stuck a magnet on it, so I've checked it everywhere and it is steel, which I'm surprised. I guess because it's quite thin, I guess that is why it feels like aluminium. The only tricky part was actually getting this rear part on. The screws, all the screws went through absolutely very easily, but actually putting this on was quite difficult, and I had to use a mallet in order to do it. Odd that these things, you would imagine the screws coming from one side and the nuts coming from the other, but actually they're both the same way, but I don't suppose it makes any difference. It actually looks fine, no problem. The width between the two arms is 57 centimetres, and I have checked the height of it, and we're on the maximum setting at the moment, and that does actually go to 2.3 metres, so I can hang from it without any problems. I have hung from it and I've swung sideways. There is a bit of sideways movement, but it does take my weight. But I don't think very much that if you were say 110 kilos that this would be ideal. This probably wouldn't be ideal for you. I think it would be too much for it. I don't think that this actually could take 200 kilos that they say. But it was £59, and for me it's a super deal. So it's very difficult to get far enough away to actually show you the heights of things, but the dip bar is good because we can go right down. Actually, this is probably the wrong way to do it because your elbows actually want to get in the way, so probably the other way, but okay for leg rises, and probably the other way for dips. And I'll try and show the pull up, but obviously it's out of your sight. But so first one, chin up, so that's a full hang. And pull up, which you probably won't be able to see, wide grip. And I'll just show you the movement that there is. So you can see it bending. Oh, and I just wanted to mention that this bar across the back is, they say it's for leg stretching. To be honest, that's all it's suitable for. You can't really put much weight on it. You can see the small triangle piece they put in here, but by the time you get out this length, it's actually not that strong. I don't think it would be safe to hang from there. So if you were going to do any calisthenics hanging, that needs to be done from the top bar, which can actually be brought down to about this level, just slightly above these handrails, because there's a hole at the top here that actually comes all the way down to here, so it can come down quite a long way.